Hello everyone, so in this video, let's talk about the A problem from the Codeforces round 888, problem named Escalator Conversions. Conversation, sorry. So the problem statement though seems very large, but it's very simple because the constraints are pretty much small. It's a problem. Okay, so let's go the problem statement very carefully and then you'll understand it. So one day, Vlad becomes curious about who he can have a conversation with on an escalator in the subway. So escalator, as we all know, you have gone to malls, you have seen escalators. Which will take you down or up in the different floors. So you have different escalators. Now escalators is just like a stair. Okay. And so Vlad want to conversation, like you can say, do some conversation with different people on the escalator. There are total of n passengers. The escalator have m steps. So there are m steps in the escalator, and the escalator has a height of k. Okay. So which means that from the ground, if this is the first step, then this is the height of 0, then the step 1, so this is the height of k, this is 2k, 3k. Okay, if the height is k, then there's like k, 2k from the ground, 3k, and so on till like the m staircases. So that is the whole thing. Now Vlad has of the height m centimeters. Sorry, it's not m, it is h centimeters. So Vlad has h centimeter of height. Now what you actually have to find out is that two people with height a and b can have a conversation on the escalator. If they are standing on different steps, they have to be on different steps, and the height difference between them is equal to the height difference between the steps. So two people can have a conversation if on the staircase or like in the on the escalator, if they have a height difference equal to the staircase difference. Obviously, as you can see here, if I just remove all of this, you can easily visualize it. Okay, sorry. As you can see here, that if this is one person, this is another person, they can only talk. They can only talk if they are on the same level. They are ensuring that to be on the same level, they can go on different staircases. So the different staircases is that the difference between their staircases that they are on, let's say they are the different, let's say there are m staircases or let's say x staircases between them. So x into k, because every staircase is of height k, so x into k is the difference between them. If this is the difference between their height, because this is the height that is compensated with the staircases, then they can do a conversation. So Vlad want to see how many people he can who have a conversation with. So it's pretty much simple now because the constraints are pretty much small. What you can do is that you will do a for loop and try to check that how many people Vlad can have a conversation with. Try to do it one by one for every person. You are given this. So Vlad is given the height, which is like h that is given here. That is the last one. So you will take this and try to find the height difference between this and every other person. Let's say 11 and 5, which is equal to 6. So now what you can do is that Vlad can have a conversation with this person if and only if there is a whole number of staircases between them. Okay, like a actual. So how you can find a whole number? You can take a staircase height that is 3. You can mod it with like number of difference that you actually have. That is the difference between the Vlad and the person that you want to conversate with. That is 6. So if this turns out to be 0, which means that you can completely divide the number of steps with the steps height, which means the 2. So you can have a actual whole number of steps that you can get. If this is a valid number and the number should be between greater than 0 and less than this m, that is the number of staircase that we have. That number that you get, let's say it is capital Y. So capital Y should be greater than 0 because Y greater than 0 because they both cannot be on the same like staircase. If difference is same, if two people have the same height, which means that they are standing on the same staircase, then only they can do a conversation. If they are staying on the same staircase, that is not possible because it is given that they should go on different staircase. So difference cannot be 0, which means that the number of staircase should be at least something. So this difference divided by the number of staircase should be greater than 0 because this is the number of staircase that we get. The number of staircases should be greater than 0. So it should be greater than 0 and should be less than m because the number of staircases that we have is m. Okay, like the starting one, like the last staircase, let's say it is 0. Like the first one is 0, then 1 and so on. So it goes till to m minus 1. That is, so it is less than m that we have number of staircases that we have. So it should be ensure that the number of staircases should be 0 till m and that should be dividing this, and you just have to check all these conditions, and for every person you will check that whether Vlad can converse with them. If number of people that he can converse, you can just add them. So okay, that's the complete thing, nothing much complicated in itself. The overall problem statement seems very big, but the actual logic turns out to be pretty much small. So let's say what is the actual code that I've written. So you will take the input of all of them, all the people and the heights. then the total number of people Vlad can have a conversation with, iterate over all the people one by one, find out the absolute difference because either Vlad can have a bigger height or the other person can have a bigger height. We just have to think about the difference because both of them can switch places and stand on two different staircases. So we just only have to think about the actual absolute difference between the heights. Whatever the absolute difference between the heights, we just have to ensure that that difference should be a multiple of k because then only we have a certain whole number of steps that we can have. At that number of steps, k should be greater than equal to k, like greater than 0 and less than m. So these two conditions have to be ensured that this should be a whole, like you can say divisible by k, and that number that we are finding by dividing should be greater than 0 and less than m. So that because number of steps that we have is only m. So if all these conditions are met, then Vlad and that person can have a conversation, that ith person. So we will increment a total. Okay, and in the end we just print out how many people Vlad can have a conversation with. Okay, so that's the complete logic. It's just an O of n solution, nothing much different and complicated. The complication is also very small. The total number of people is also very small, so nothing much complicated. I hope you understand the logic and the code part for this particular problem. If you still have any doubts, you can mention in the comment box for this particular video. I will see you next one. Let me coding and bye.